hi everyone. I'm going to tell you the story of my first steps as a lead developer for madmoiZelle. So I'm not sure a lot of people here know what madmoiZelle is. It's a French media. So we are a team of 21. There are around 10 journalists, 5 persons in the commercial team, and in the tech part, so there's me, the lead dev, and I used to have interns of 6 months or alternant, like contracts of a year. And we also work with a DevOps team that is outside. So madmoiZelle, it's a media, so we have a webzine that is powered by WordPress. We have a mobile application, but we also have a strong community on YouTube and on social networks in general. We have a box that is sent every month to our subscribers. And we also organize events in real life. So we have the One Match Show, that is a humorist show in Paris every month. And we also have La Grosse Stuff, that is a party that we held in La Belle-Illoise. So we do a lot of things. And we have a lot of people visiting the website, well, at least for me. So before coming to madmoiZelle, I worked there since 2016. And I used to work for an e-commerce website that had much less traffic, so for me it was quite a challenge. So I failed a lot of times, I broke the website a lot of times, but I'm going to tell you two stories today. So I'm going to start with the micro breaks nightmare. So as I told you, we don't just write articles, we also produce a lot of other formats. So we started doing podcasts in 2016. So we tried this format with YouTube Lives and interviews that we were posting on YouTube. And we started just converting them, taking just the audio file, and we wanted to have like real podcasts to be available on iTunes. So the thing is, on the website, it actually looked like videos. So there were several steps on that project. We used a plugin to create actual podcasts on WordPress. And we also had to transform all the previous videos to podcasts. So we did that using SQL scripts. And we also had to set up SEO redirection because, as I said, madmoiZelle is quite a big website that is old, so we rely a lot on SEO. And we had to keep the SEO juice on these articles that were driving a lot of traffic. And so the second part of the project was the creation of the feeds per podcast, because we used to have just one single feed on iTunes with all the shows we used to have and all the interviews. And for our users, it was not convenient at all, because some of them, for example, were only interested in L'Émission, that is one of our shows. And we wanted to have really separate feeds. So the plugin we saw provided that feature. The feed generation was pretty slow, but we were like, okay, it's slow. It took like 2 seconds, 3 seconds to generate a feed. But we're like, okay, let's move fast and break things. Let's see how it goes, and we will see. So we released the podcast on the website. I was actually very happy because the SQL migration went pretty well, and we didn't have any breaks during that part. SEO was well too, so I was like, okay, I'm going to check the generation feed later, and it's slow, but it works. So several days later, actually several weeks, we started having 503s. So we're using Varnish on top of our WordPress as a cache system. And yes, Varnish started to give us these errors, but they were very short, like for like maybe 1 second every hour, we had these breaks. So first, I checked my last releases, and it was not related. It was mostly front-end related stuff. So I was like, okay, there are no errors. I don't know. I checked with our DevOps team. So at first, I had this very bad behavior of, it works in dev and pre-production, so what's going on in prod, guys? And then I started looking at the most recent article that were published that day. And I realized that we were the first of a ranking website called Podcasteo. That article, we launched the feed of L'Émission and the other one with the interviews and I didn't know about it, and actually I didn't really follow up on when we would actually create these. So so with our DevOps team, I was pretty sure that it was linked with podcast, our favorites. So with our DevOps team, we set up New Relic very quickly, just a trial version, because we are really depending on ads with madmoiZelle, so our budget is quite limited. So we set up New Relic, just a trial version, to check what was going on. And the awesome thing with New Relic is how it plugs with a lot of frameworks. So with WordPress, it can tell you precisely how long your hooks last. And yeah, clearly New Relic was telling me, hey, optimize your feed generation. So the errors I made. I let a slow process be released in production and without a concrete plan to improve that. So yeah, I didn't keep up on when we would release separate feeds. And I clearly forgot the initial goal that was to have 7 feeds per show. So lessons learned, don't forget the goals. Keep up with your team. Be careful with we're going to do it later, because it comes back to you like a boomerang when you're not expecting it. I don't know if there are any WordPress developers here, but take it easy on the get options. That was the main problem of the plugin. And yeah, New Relic is awesome. And during hard times, quick wins can save you some time. So why did I write this? Because I didn't optimize feeds like crazy when it started to happen. We actually first increased the caching time of these feeds on the Varnish side. And so it gave me some time to work on the feeds. So really quick wins can save you some time when you have a problem, like think about what you can do fast before doing the big work. So now we have over 300 podcasts, a lot of shows, and you can follow us. They are very interesting. So now the second fail, the Neverending Redesign. So when I arrived in madmoiZelle in 2016, the website wasn't responsive. So we had a theme that was getting old. We didn't get the flat design thing. And so yeah, it was very getting old. And on the mobile, we were using a plugin called WP Touch that would just display a default theme that was quite ugly. And we didn't have a lot of personalization, especially on the ads. And yeah, it was time for us to redo the design. And first we bought a template, and I adjusted the wireframe. So we bought a template on Code Canyon, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try to play with Photoshop and according to what the ideas of the team. But clearly, I'm not a designer. So what we did, I asked, so on networks, the network of madmoiZelle, if it was possible to work with a web agency, but at pretty low costs. And so my boss actually knew someone, so UPian, people from UPian, so we worked with them. We integrated, they did beautiful wireframes, and we were moving very fast. I estimated the delivery date according to the wireframes, but I was getting more and more stressed. And I realized I was afraid, so the more I was getting to the delivery date. And yeah, during that moment, I started first to feel the fear, and I didn't exactly know why I was that afraid, so I started talking to my fear, and it was telling me stuff like, but is your team going to handle the traffic? I was thinking about postponing the release date, and I was afraid of the reaction of the other people of my team, because I've been working for this project for like 2 months, I think, and it's quite a long time, and I was afraid of their reactions. I was afraid of releasing in, I should really stop doing that. I was afraid of releasing the project in prod, because high traffic, what if something happens, what if I break everything, and I was also afraid of the audience, because as I said earlier, we have a strong community. There are people who literally really love us. There are people who want us dead. So we are dealing with a lot of exchanges with the readers, and I was really afraid of that. So I started thinking, okay, well, let's do stuff to ease my, to calm my fear. So concerning the release date, so of course I said, no, I'm not able to deliver the project that day, so sorry, I'm going to postpone. And the team was very supportive. We did a nice breakfast the next day, and they told me, okay, you're going to be fine. It's going to be cool. For the fear of breaking the prod, I prepared a rollback plan. So for me, just having clearly, okay, if something bad happens, just having a checklist, it made me feel safer. Concerning the traffic, we did stress testings with our DevOps using Gatling, which is a very cool open source tool if you're dealing with budget issue like us. And concerning the audience, we did some UX testing with some readers. So we just said on our Facebook page, hey, we are launching a new design. Who wants to test us? Who wants to test it? You just need to be in Paris, and we'll give you food. So everyone came. And yeah, I felt more confident, and I released the project very at night after the debate Macron-Le Pen, for those of you who might have seen it. And I was like, internet is busy with that story, so let's just push in prod discreetly. And the thing is, at first the comments were pretty positive because most people were on mobile. And really, like, the difference between the former mobile version that was a plain thing, a default thing, was we switched and it was better. But it was actually weird how different were the comments in real life that we got from our readers and comments on internet. Like, really, it's completely different. So we had people who really, actually, most of the complaints were from the desktop version. Everyone who were browsing on mobile was like, oh, okay, it's good. I love the new version. It's easier to browse. But there were some comments who were literally saying, oh, I don't recognize New anymore because our community sees us through vlogs. So we do vlogs every week where we film the team. And some people were telling us, oh, it's so cold compared to how you guys are funny in real life. I mean, so we had this kind of feedbacks. And the funny thing is that we didn't change that much things compared to the former version. We kept a gray background like in the before. The main thing we changed was the typo. And at first, I was reading inspirational quotes about how typo is 80% of design and things like that. And I was taking it seriously, but I didn't realize how important it was until we got this kind of feedback. And so we read the feedbacks. We thought we didn't want to change the typo because it was giving a girly image of the webzine, and clearly we're not like that at all. When you read the articles, we're quite a serious webzine. And so we did that small change of just adding some icons in the background and changing the background color to blue, the main color of MAD. And everyone was pretty happy with this new version. So the errors I made, so yeah, obviously I lost time on trying to be a designer. Don't do that. If you're, well, I gave unrealistic deadlines, and especially I didn't take into account all the testing part. So the stress testing part, and the testing with users, because there were some back and forth afterwards, even after the new theme was released. And I think on UX testing, we did a mistake by having a quite small group of users. And I feel like they were not trying to hurt our feelings. We should have been more clear, like, okay, just if you think it's ugly, if you don't like it, just say it out loud, and we're here to improve. So yeah, lesson learned: the power of network. Ask for help, because I tried to design things because I thought we were on really low budget, but then we found a solution that was quite good. Being a lead developer doesn't mean being able to do everything. So you can't do design if you if you're not a designer, or if you're not if you don't have if you're not sensitive to design. And in terms of UX testing, put your users in the center of everything you're doing. So on that, even after the UX testing, we read the comments. It was not easy at all to read at them, because it's basically like if someone tells you your child is ugly, and but you have to read it and take the best out of the criticism. Like, don't listen to the trolls, but when there are people who say, oh, I really like it, but, and just listen to the but part. And yeah, talk to your fear. Don't try to shut it up. We always say, what would you do if you were not afraid? We're always trying to pretend not being afraid, and trying to be tough and strong. But what helped me in that case was actually paying attention, acknowledging that I was afraid, and just find out what I could do to feel more confident. And that's it, and 50 minutes.
Any question for Laïla?
Hey, thank you for the presentation. I'm curious, why didn't you just start it by doing the UX experience with the testers, instead of like writing, the UI and doing the work and then doing it in the end? Like, what if they didn't like it at all?
Actually, we didn't include the. You're right. We did it very late compared to what we should have. The thing is, we were very in a rush because we wanted to have mobile ads of our own in the mobile version. And we were really in a rush to just make a responsive design, and yeah, before asking the users.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you see a difference in the comments that were posted right after the redesign and the one that were posted maybe 1 week or 2 weeks after?
Yes, at first they were very dramatic. Like, oh, we have a topic because we have a forum. And we did a topic about the new design, and at first they were very dramatic, like, I don't recognize you, I'm never coming back, blah blah blah. So it went for like 5 pages, and then they were getting more used to it, but still the lack of color was something that came back. Like, we had people saying, hey, I didn't forget, I don't know, I'm getting used to it, but it's less colorful and I don't like it, so yeah. Okay.
Any other question?
It's not a question, but just a thank you, because I didn't know that your last podcast, Laisse-moi kiffer, had separated RSS. So I use the main feed to get all, and now I'll just subscribe to it.
Ah, cool, awesome, enjoy. Thank you.